It's been so long, but I am happy to be back. It looks like we have about 10 requests. I'll try to get to all of them today. If not, then we'll have some for another week. So, spring has finally come to Hokkaido, which is absolutely wonderful. It started to get warm and I was so happy, and then we had sleet and hail and rain and incredibly high winds. I think we had about a week where every day the winds were over about, I think it was 9 or 10 meters per second every single day. But it did get warm enough. We finally had cherry blossoms, and then we had the snow and the sleet and the rain for 2 days straight with 13 meter per second plus winds. And it destroyed all of them just as they were opening. So, no lovely Hanami, which is really what I was looking forward to. Oh, that's different than I expected. I got, it's a mango peach wine, a summer wine. And it smells just like a white wine with a little bit of a citrus taste to it, but it smells absolutely divine. It's not as sweet as sometimes they come, and I had been a little worried, but it's quite nice. Anyhow, let us get straight into these requests because we have so many from all of you wonderful people, and some of you have been waiting quite a while. So this first one is from YouTube user LegolasGreenleaf, who says, "Wonderful King, when you were a kid, how did you spend your time after the responsibilities of the young and adorable prince?" Oh dear. It's very difficult for me to recall everything I did back then. I was sort of, I kept to myself a lot as a child. I think I've talked a little bit about that. But, as any young prince would, I did spend a lot of time sort of walking around the kingdom. I spent a lot of time in the Greenwood, just sort of communing. It's very important when you are young, particularly with such responsibilities, to really communicate with the other things in your realm other than just the other elves. Animals, plants. You have to sort of create a bond and a trust because you're going to be expected for millennia to keep that going. And so it's very important to make sure that that's a good relationship. So I think probably most of what I did was sort of enjoy the wonder of everything that was around me. I spent a lot of time singing, when you put energy out into the world, it does come back to you. And so, in order to sort of facilitate harmony, I would sing various songs, and I would be rewarded with all sorts of things. A breeze would show you the direction of something, or a falling leaf would draw your eye to a rare blooming plant, that sort of thing. The forest is there. Not just as a thing to be in, but as a living, breathing entity as a whole. We think a lot of times about organisms on an individual level, but as a community there is sort of more of a nature of working together. And I think it's very important to remember that an ecosystem is itself a living thing, and we're just one part of that. Therefore, I wanted to really become a part of it. I wanted to do something, and so I spent a lot of time nurturing any injured plants or animals that I found, and that's not to say that I interfered with the natural course of things. Of course, that's something you definitely want to steer clear of, but I did have quite a compassionate heart, let's say, as a youth, and for better or worse, I did do quite a few little things like that. So, I think that's the bulk of it. I did spend quite a bit of time sort of reading histories of our people, and of course others that I might come across. There's lots of books in the library in the castle. that deal with things such as etiquette in various cultures and sort of past diplomatic meetings, what went particularly well and what did not. And so therefore you really have to sort of immerse yourself in many different worlds. I really didn't have sort of the disposition when I was younger to really dedicate myself to all of the intricacies of ruling. I really thought that yeah, I would never need them, and I had not really a great interest, I would say. But over time, of course, some of that was sort of fate dealing its hand to me, but that there was a growing interest as I got older and sort of was able to understand more the larger picture, shall we say. Um, Other than that, all the typical martial training, I would spend a lot of time with my swords, occasionally with a bow or a dagger, something of that sort, and I believe that's pretty much all of it as far as anything interesting. So, thank you so much, darling, for your question, and until next time, cheers and ta-ta.